Hello pre-calculus class, this is Mr. An. For today's classwork, we're going to go over page 511, number 34. This is in reference to example 7, and this will help you with end review number 33. Alright, number 34, it reads, a surveyor determines that the angle of elevation of the top of a building from a point on the ground is 30.4 degrees. So, we have a surveyor here, and the angle of elevation to the top of the building is 30.4 degrees. Alright, simple. Next it says, he then moves back 55.4 feet and determines that an angle of elevation is 23.2. So he walked backwards to this point, and now the angle of elevation is 23.2. Alright, simple. Now that we've drawn this out, it asks, what is the height of the building? Now that's this length here, and as with all height, it is going to be perpendicular. So let's start on that point. Because we have a right triangle with an angle, I'm able to find out every single information about the triangle so long as I have one angle and one side. Unfortunately, I only have one angle. I don't have any other side. So this is the side I want in my answer. I'm not particularly sure how I'm supposed to find out this side, but I can definitely figure out this side using this triangle to the left. Because for this triangle, I can use the law of sines. All right, so let's use that. In this triangle, I know that I have one angle and one side. Ideally, I need the side across from it and the angle across from it. So, where do we start? Because I know this angle and that this is a straight line, I should be able to find out its supplementary angle simply by taking this equation. 180 degrees minus the 30 degrees should give me this angle, which will match with this angle. And since I now know two angles, I should be able to find the third side, since the three angles should add up to 180 degrees. And so I'm able to find out that it is going to be 7.2. At this point, I can use the law of sines because I have the necessary information. You'll notice that I don't actually know this side, but I don't really care about that side, because going back to the original equation, I really only needed this side from the left triangle. So, now that I've determined that this is going to be my x, and I have the corresponding angle, and the known side with now the known angle, I'll be using these two fractions, and I'll be ignoring the middle one because I don't know this side for the corresponding angle, and I don't really need to. So I'm going to take these two fractions, make it into an equation as you see here, cross multiply to get x times sine of 7.2 degrees equals 55.4 times sine of 23.2 degrees. Here I'm going to isolate x by taking this and dividing it on both sides to get this expression. If you put this in the calculator, you will get this. Now, for those of you who don't have calculators at home, you can use Desmos.com. From Desmos, if you scroll down, you can access the scientific calculator right here. So click on that. The only thing you have to note is that it should either be in degrees or radians. Because of our question being in terms of degrees, you need to make sure that the calculator is calculating in terms of degrees. So going back to our equation, we get 55.4 times sine. You can either type that out or click on the sine button. 23.2 degrees. 23.2 degrees all over sine of 7.2. All right, and we get 174.1, which we have here. Now, you don't want to actually use 174.1 because you want to make sure that your answer is correct. So we're actually going to save that answer and not round it off. Going back to the original question, I want to find out, again, this height. In order to find out this height, I'm going to use this right triangle. Trigonometry allows me to find out any information on a right triangle so long as I have one angle and one side. I had one angle in the beginning and now I have one side. So I'm going to just use trigonometry. Because I have an angle and I have both the hypotenuse and the opposite side, I'm going to use sine. Since sine is an expression for opposite over hypotenuse. The opposite is the height I want to find in the end, and x is the hypotenuse, which I found out in the previous page. So I'm going to multiply x on both sides so that I get height by itself. X is an expression that I found out on my calculator, and I'm just straightforward going to multiply this to the answer. So that's sine of 30.4 degrees. Going back to this, going to, if I had accidentally pressed enter, for example, I'm just going to press this key that says answer and then multiply it to sine of 30.4. Sine of 30.4 degrees. And I get my answer. It is 88.1 if we round it off. And we're done. All right, thank you and good luck.